The story begins at a time when the land of Israel was under Roman control. Life was hard. The people were heavily taxed, watched over by Roman soldiers, and burdened by fear and poverty. But despite the hardship, they held on to a promise passed down through generations that God would send a savior, a king, a light in the darkness. They waited in silence, clinging to hope. In a small town of Nazareth lived a young woman named Mary. She was kind, humble, and faithful to God. Mary was engaged to a man named Joseph, a carpenter. Their life was simple, quiet, and honest. But everything was about to change. One evening, as Mary sat alone, an angel suddenly appeared before her. She was afraid at first, but the angel reassured her. He told her that she had found favor with God. She would have a baby, and this child would be called Jesus. He would be great and be called the Son of the Most High. Mary, though confused, believed the angel's message and said yes to God's plan. When Joseph found out that Mary was pregnant, he was troubled. But that night, he too had a dream. An angel appeared to him and said, "Don't be afraid. The child Mary carries is from God." Joseph woke up with peace in his heart and chose to stand by Mary. Together, they prepared for the baby to come. Around this time, the Roman emperor ordered a census. Everyone had to return to their family town to register. For Joseph, that meant traveling to Bethlehem. Though Mary was pregnant and the journey was long and difficult, they pressed on. Step by step, they made their way to the city of David. When they reached Bethlehem, the town was packed. People from all over had come for the census. Mary and Joseph knocked on door after door, but there was no room anywhere. Finally, someone offered them a small stable, a place where animals were kept. It was not ideal, but it was all they had. In that humble stable, under the cover of night, Mary gave birth to her son. She wrapped him in cloth and laid him in a manger, a feeding trough for animals. And so, the Savior of the world was born, not in a palace, but in a barn. Not surrounded by royalty, but by animals and straw. Nearby, some shepherds were keeping watch over their flocks. It was a quiet night, until suddenly the sky lit up. A host of angels appeared, singing and praising God. They told the shepherds the good news. Today in Bethlehem, a Savior has been born. The shepherds hurried into town and found the stable just as the angel had said. There, they saw the baby wrapped in cloth, lying in a manger. Their hearts were filled with joy. They went out and told everyone what they had seen. The news began to spread. Far to the east, some wise men saw a new star in the sky. They believed it meant a king had been born. They followed the star for many days, bringing gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The star led them straight to Bethlehem. When they arrived, the wise men found Mary, Joseph, and Jesus. They bowed low and worshiped the child. These were wealthy, educated men from faraway lands, yet they knew this baby was different. Their gifts honored who he was, a king, a priest, and one who would suffer. Back in Jerusalem, King Herod heard rumors of a new king of the Jews. Afraid of losing his throne, he became paranoid and dangerous. He asked the wise men to report back to him, pretending he wanted to worship the child too. But the wise men were warned in a dream not to return to Herod. They left quietly, going home a different way. That night, Joseph had another dream. An angel warned him, "Take the child and his mother, flee to Egypt. Herod is looking for him." Joseph did not hesitate. He woke Mary, and they left immediately. They traveled to Egypt and stayed there until Herod died. After Herod died, an angel told Joseph it was safe to return. They made their way back and settled in Nazareth. Jesus grew up in this small town, living an ordinary life. But his birth had already changed the world. The story of Jesus' birth is not just about a baby. It's about hope coming into the world. It's about light shining in darkness. It's about God reaching out to humanity in the most unexpected way. He wasn't born into comfort or power. He came to be with the poor, the humble, the forgotten. His birth shows us that no one is too low or too far for God to reach, and that, above all, is the true miracle of Christmas.